Creating histograms. This time we're going to be creating a histogram. To create a histogram, we're starting in Stats. So we're in the Statistics menu, which is menu item number 2. I'm going to exit here and go back to the data sheet. In the data sheet, I've got some data from earlier. This can be any data set you'd like. I also have a frequency chart. So right next to it in list number 2 is my frequencies for each one of these items. So the number 20 shows up once, 27 5 times, etc. So we would like to create a histogram. So we're going to type graph, which is F1. We're going to set up statgraph1 to be a histogram. I don't see anything that says histogram, so I press F6, and there's histogram under F1. First one we are going to do with the X list coming out of list 1, frequency being 1, color link, we'll leave it turned off. Color link actually links the color of the number with the corresponding color in the bar. We'll leave those turned off for now. We'll exit and we'll go ahead and make sure we have only one selected, which we do, and just press graph 1. Now it's going to ask you where do you want to start your bars. My lowest number is 20, so I'm going to start at 10. The bandwidth or the bin width, how wide each one of these bins is, I'm going to leave it at 10 because I want this to be a category. Here's your data in the graph. So if you want to trace, you'll notice it gives you information about the bin you're in and the frequency for each. Okay, now let's create a second graph. So we're going to set up graph number 2. Press F2. Again, we want to make a histogram. List 1, we're going to use frequencies out of list 2. Color link we'll leave off. Histogram will be red. We're going to put these right on top of each other. So I'm going to make sure I select both statgraph1 and statgraph2. We'll go ahead and draw those. We'll leave the bin width at 10. So now you see that each one is stacked up on top of the other. When we take a look at the trace, this is for statgraph1. I use the up and down arrow to select a different one. These have higher frequencies, so now you notice the frequency is changing. When I take a look at the graph again, I'll draw that again. I want to look at the trace for the first set, and that's the one on the inside. You notice how the frequencies are different for each one of those. And you can jump between them even when you're tracing. So that's the histograms.